You know, I think that a really dumb name for the Go Busters adaptation would have been Power Rangers Mechanimals.
I've heard worse.
Oh, have you? What have you heard?
Not the time.
Okay.
Hi, everybody! I'm alive! Wait, are we recording or no?
Vashi?
I forgot I was muted. I apologize, everybody.
Oh, did you have something to say as well?
No, I just said that would have been hilarious and awesome. And then I started doing the intro, and all I hear is Vashi.
I miss you guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the Toku podcast. This episode is for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashi V, and with me today are...
Decay.
The Little King.
And Rai.
And today we're talking about episode 3. So, once again, we start right where we left off. The PatoRangers enter the cafe. Umika puts Goody in a pot. Keiichiro asks for a table for 3. Umika looks back at the pot and Goody is gone. While the police are ordering, Toma is stopped by Kairi from stealing Sakuya's VS changer. The police take off in a rush before they order. I'll keep going. Kogure appears to take the collection piece, and when I say appears, he literally teleports. So that's interesting. Kairi asks why the police have collection pieces as well. Kogure is investigating and gives them their next target. Thoughts?
He's stalling. I'm telling you, Kogure is so damn suspicious, and it just keeps adding up every week. It is going to topple eventually. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say something, but then I chose not to. Sorry.
I like Goody a little bit more this episode. He really won me over this time. And, I was worried that the tension in the restaurant thing was gonna go away, like, oh, it was just a comedy bit. I like that they still kept some of the tension. Toma's trying to do his thing, but Kairi's just pushing him off to the side. It was really clever and a good use of the scene. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I was right that it was just going to be like, oh, they're actually just here for lunch kind of thing. Although, I do like Kairi stopping Tuma from taking the changers, because he would have sold them all out right there. Whether or not they noticed right away, like, they would have noticed when they were leaving, assuredly. As for Kogure just teleporting in, we don't even see him teleport in. They turn around and he's sitting at a table that was empty a second ago, and there are no other entrances. So yeah, he is very suspicious. The only other character we've seen teleport is Gotch, but I don't think like she's actually him, like Virgo from Forze or something.
That would be super weird.
Yeah. But like there's something going on here.
Yeah, there's seriously issues there. Because literally nobody else at this point has literally just appeared out of thin air. Well, out of the heroes, anyways, and hero support. Like while it was very clear that it was they were just there for coincidence at the restaurant last episode. I'm glad they ran with that instead of just doing, oh no, we know who the LupinRangers are now. Because that would have been way too fast for me.
It would have killed, like, half the show.
Right, because they've got so much they can do with the whole trying to find out who they are and all this, and all the fuckery that Lupin Rangers can do because they know who the Pat Rangers are.
I look forward to the Pat Rangers eating lunch at their restaurant in the future, not knowing. Like, there's a lot of potential there.
Um,
Oh, the shenanigans.
God damn it, Farva. The thing with Tuma and trying to grab the VS changers is like that. Even for a thief whose entire purpose is to get back the Lupin collection, that was just a dumb idea. Because seriously, it's like it would have gotten him nowhere. If anything, it would have got him locked up. Simply because it's like Rice said, is if they didn't know immediately, they would have noticed when they went to take off. And then they're just up shit creek. So.
Then we cut to a strange gangler morphing a building into a statue of Dogranio. The PatoRangers arrive to stop him. Keisatsu change, roll call, and then we get the little intro, narration, and the opening song. Surprisingly, that narration was pretty well done. Managed to squeeze a lot in. What did you guys think?
It was alright. I understand the sculpture thing. I mean, it's their boss. What are you gonna do? I didn't get to say my thoughts on the theme song though. I freaking love this. Like the idea of two like different tempoed theme songs based on both teams just clashing together with the image. It's so amazingly. I adore it so much. And of course, I love the Lupin Ranger side just a touch more, but that's just my bias.
After this episode, it's seeming like Lupin Ranger is being played off as more the main Sentai, with Power Ranger just kind of like being an extra. But you know what? I'm totally fine with this because both teams are still getting plenty of attention. Every character is still getting used. Which is more than I can say for how Key Ranger started and ended.
Like, it's being really well done how they're handling the characters, even with Lupin being at least at the moment, the obvious focus. I'm hoping that it starts doing like, as we get further into it, that it'll start swapping the focus between the teams. But like Rice said, it's like nobody feels left out.
Maybe this is kind of just like an introduction arc to get us more into like the Lupin mindset, and then the next arc will be a bit more Pat Ranger heavy, and then they'll start sharing.
Right, because I mean, as it stands now, the Lupin ones are really the ones who need to have their backstories fleshed out a little bit at the moment. Because you can gloss over the Pat Rangers by going, "Oh, well, they're cops; it's their job. That's just simply it. It's their job." But with the Lupin Rangers, it's like this. They have no reason to be doing this, until we get the backstory of all that shit. So it seems more prudent to give them more of the focus to get a better understanding of them. But yeah, all in all, is like I enjoyed the start of this episode. I'm not entirely sold on the theme song yet because I'm not used to that type of setup for it though.
It's very like smooth jazz, but it's very good, and I just like it.
Yeah, it's definitely more like an insert song, but I still love it. Yeah, after the opening, we get the episode title, number 3, We'll Definitely Get Them Back. The Lupin Rangers arrive transformed. They jump into the fight for the collection piece. Namiro, who is the bad guy of the week, warns Ichigo about chasing him before he retreats. Red has to drag Blue away from fighting the police. Kairi and Umika wonder why Toma is being so reckless, but Toma is shocked that they aren't prioritizing taking the police's collection pieces, because obviously the police are in their way. Toma takes off and lets the others handle Namito.
Sorry. I like that even though it's only been 3 episodes, we're really getting a stark contrast with like the secondary Rangers, technically, like the lieutenants of the Reds. Because Lou, obviously, this feels like such a left turn from his character from what we've seen so far. Like, he usually seems like the calm, cool, and collected type, the one who keeps Umika in check on their job, stuff like that. So to see him just freak out and stuff like this is a nice change. Like, this early on, and we're already seeing different contrasts for character. And from what we've already seen and what we will see, you can understand it, to be honest. And I see his reasoning, so I like the way they did it, and the fight was alright.
I see his reasoning, but the fact is his reasoning is wrong. The police are not directly in their way the way he is looking at it. Yeah, they might like get in their way of them getting the treasure piece, but ultimately they can, like as we see, kind of manipulate the police to their advantage. As long as they get the treasure, the police can just be an extra distraction that the gangler has to deal with. Sure, they also have to avoid not getting arrested, but as we've seen, that hasn't really been too hard for them.
Like, yeah, Toma's decision to kind of just go off and, like, basically steal all the versus changers from the PatoRangers was a very bad idea. It exposes everybody. It points out, basically, like King said, it's an entire character shift from how he normally is. And Lupin Red had it right. It's like it's not so much that they're in our way; it's like they're a distraction, and we can use them to our advantage. Like, because they don't necessarily have to be the one to defeat the monster. All we care about is getting the collection back primarily. So, and Red having the foresight to actually understand that is actually one of the redeeming qualities coming off of Q Ranger for me. For me, is like we have a Red who actually knows what the fuck he's doing, and is basically just guessing and making shit up.
Yeah, Kairi definitely did well in this episode. So yeah, we just get a quick cut to the bad guys. Dogranio doesn't really care that Namito's flattering him. He just cares about results. So then we cut to Toma. He has a flashback of Aya, his fiance, who died. Toma began cooking for her. He proposes to her over the phone. He hears her being attacked outside of a wedding dress boutique. So then we cut back.
So the way Decade said that sounded weird. He proposes to her, and then later over the phone he hears her being attacked.
Flash forward in the flashback. Yeah. So then, yeah, we cut to the present. Toma is, prepared to, attack the police. But Kairi stops him. His reason being that he doesn't want Toma to hinder their dream, basically. Kairi's in no hurry because the cops will always come to them. So, like we said earlier, he has a smarter approach. What did you guys think about the flashback and stuff?
I just want to get my thoughts out of the way on this now. A smart Red and a no-nonsense villain? Yeah, I can see the good points. Yay. But yeah, the flashbacks with Toma, I really like how they laid down the groundwork. It's like, here's a character, here's his shifts, here's why he's acting this. You can see why he basically closes himself off from everybody else, why he cooks. Spot up! But, I mean, it's laying down the groundwork and it's adding and fleshing out a character. And I love that.
Yeah, it's easy to see like why he's in this. He wants his fiance back, and then he doesn't want to get too involved with the others. And I can see his reasoning for wanting to just get the VS changers from the police so that they're out of the way and they have those Lupin pieces. Uh, and there are some cases where he would be right. But in this case, this particular like Sentai that they have to deal with, they don't really need to worry about them from what we've seen. From what they've seen even. If they were dealing with any other team, like even say Deca Ranger, then they would have to worry a bit more.
Right. Because, like, if it was Deca Rangers, like, while in the end it would have worked out, the methods for which Lupin Ranger does, Deca Ranger wouldn't have had any of that. Because, the whole, you can't commit crime and still do good thing.
Like, especially since Deca Ranger has more experienced members that could have solved it even from episode 1. Like Jasmine or Sen.
Kind of a little irritated about a reference that just got made because now I'm actually delved into thought on it. King's reference to Spada for Toma, because they fucking speak French too. God damn it! I didn't realize it didn't click until you said it. Referring to Toma for Spada from Q Ranger.
Oh my god, okay.
And now, as soon as you said that, it registered in my head, and they both speak fucking French. Not nearly to Spada's level, but yeah, this entire team with the setup is, while we didn't get much on Lupin Yellow, again, because it's a Lupin heavy episode, they were still enough that nobody looks overshadowed, and I'm enjoying that.
Yep. So at the Global Police HQ, Keiichiro chews out Sakuya for almost losing his VS changer during the fight. Jim, the robot, has a citizen report for the officers, but it's actually Kairi altering his voice with an app. Pretty funny. Hilltop tells Sakuya to show his resolve. The Global Police arrive at Namiro's base, Keisatsu change, but are quickly subdued by Slime Trap. Wah wah. After celebrating outside, the Phantom Thieves, Namiro celebrating outside, and then the Phantom Thieves just reveal themselves on the roof, because they pretty much saw this coming. Toma remembers Aya's words that even a seemingly pointless detour can have unexpected possibilities. The thieves Kaitou change and roll call. So yeah, the police got the short end of the stick again. Thoughts?
Oh boy. Okay, one, again, I like Kyrie being clever. Lure the cops there so they can distract him. If they don't distract him, they can fight him and get the piece of the collection. If they do, they can get in easy. It's a win-win. I like the use of flashbacks for Toma in order to steal his resolve. Keiichiro busting out Sakuya, I get. I mean, he almost lost it all there, so... And screw-ups like that, yeah, you can't really afford those most of the time. But come on, do you really have to make the cops seem that incompetent that they wouldn't expect a trap? One, they didn't even know who the report was to. And two, was just being begged to happen. I don't know. This could just be my bias for the thieves talking, but it just felt so incompetent of them, I guess is what I'm looking for. I'm still trying to let them win me over, but I'll let you guys talk, because now I'm ruling.
So something I forgot to bring up earlier. In the initial fight where Green gets trapped and almost gets his VS changer taken away. The thing that his mistake in that was that he had two opponents and he stopped paying attention to one of them. Everyone else still kept their eye on the Gangler and was able to dodge the attack. But then when Red is yelling at him, Keiichiro, for messing up, he's like, "Oh, you underestimated both of them." It's like, nah, he really didn't. He underestimated one of them. But I guess that's kind of the point of his character, is that he's just kind of yelling at him and saying stuff. As for the trap, yeah, they should have been more cautious. But really, how much more cautious could they have been and not fallen into that? He pushed a button on the wall and, goo exploded everywhere.
Fair enough.
The trap itself, it was a very simplistic one, but hard to avoid. At most they could have, I guess, tracked the number that called to see if it was a legit, but
Vesh, you kind of cut off. Okay, I think Vash is having mic issues.
I will move on then. So yeah, Namiro summons Potamon, and everyone fights. Namiro uses his collection piece to create spears out of a statue, but he pretty much just fails to hit anyone. The PatoRangers continue to struggle in the slime. Sakuya remembers Hilltop's words and shoots Ichigo's baton on the floor up into the air, and it smacks the slime, and he frees himself. Yay. He frees Ichigo, who praises him, and they almost leave without freeing Sango, aka Pink. Kind of funny, but yeah, not too great of an arc. I don't think anyone would disagree. So I'll keep going, unless Vashi's mic is fixed.
Sounds
good.
Yes, it is.
All right. Back to my earlier comment. In terms of avoiding the trap, there's only so much that they could have done without taking this from a Sentai show and moving it into an entirely different genre of show. The plan itself for the LupinRangers was actually kind of ingenious in terms of going, hey, if they get caught in a trap, it just alleviates them from being an issue, which actually was kind of ingenious. And I did like the flashback. The one thing I wanted to say about the earlier flashback was, even though it was cut to where it seems like there not a lot of time had passed, with the way he reacted to her his fiance screaming, you could tell they'd been together for a while beyond just what was kind of set with them when he proposed. So it was a nice play on the actor's part. And now everybody can continue with their thoughts.
All I have to say about Sakuya's shooting the baton to his hands, yeah, that's kind of like a Toku thing that happens. It shouldn't have worked.
No, because physics are a thing. Or should be a thing.
No, they should be, considering what the LupinRangers have done.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite things about the first episode of the series was when they were in the vent. and then Yellow almost like freaks out about a spider, but they still make a bunch of noise and the monster hears them. It's like, yeah, he should have heard them. I actually would have been mad if they got away with that.
Sorry, Declan, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go on.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on. Yeah, let's see. Lupin Red uses Good Striker to defeat Namito, but rather than fusing, Red splits into 3 copies of himself. They kill Namito with Stealing Strike. Kairi mentions that they didn't tell Kogure about Goody, and he flies off, but he just runs into Ichigo. Gosh revives Namito as a giant. The 3 vehicles, or the 3 PatoRanger vehicles, and Good Striker Guttai to form Pato Kaiser. Before I move on, any thoughts about that finisher?
It's just gonna be another bias for me, but I wanted to say something real quick about the thing with Sakuya. For a while now, I've been trying to figure out what kind of vibes the show's been giving me. I think I finally figured it out. It's Lupin the Third meets Tomika Hero. Whichever version you like, take your pick. My point is, basically, it's cheesy cops meet cheesy thieves. And at least the thieves are charming. I just don't know if this is a good... I understand the cops and robbers thing, but at the very least, until we get something cops, I do think they deserve Sakuya especially. Sakuya and Tsukasa especially. Keiichiro, he's kind of a lost cause for me right now. Point is, until they get something better, I kind of feel bad voicing my opinions. I know I have such a big bias for the thieves right now that I don't feel fair in saying anything about the cops. So, I don't know. It's just my...
So, adding to the suspicion of Kogure, Good Striker is afraid of him for some reason. But we'll talk more about that later. Lupin Red using the device, but instead of like the 3 of them coming together like PatoRanger did, he splits, was really weird. And it's not like they could have done the same thing with the suits, because you could do like the fusion color with the suits and it would still look good. So, what up with the split thing? Was it just so that we could have a 5-member finisher, maybe? Production-wise, that is. In series, I have no idea. Oh, also, Gotch. Yeah, whenever she shows up, I just find it so unsettling. Just her costume design, her own theme. She is one of the best female commanders we've had.
In terms of the red splitting into 3, all I want is the explanation for why it's different. I want Goody or whoever involving the Lupin collection. I want somebody to explain that, because in theory, there's no reason why he should split to 3. It should work the same way. It's the same item, the same way. The Guttai works the same way.
But did he use it the same way? Did he do something different?
Not that I could tell.
Did Keiichiro have to use the dial? Also, is
No.
Goody double-sided? Like, is one side of him a jet while the other side is a car? Could that also be a factor?
Yeah, and Ichigo put it on the bottom. He attached it to the bottom of the VS Changer. And
Okay, then.
Red
There's
put it
a
on the
few
top.
explanations here. I just don't know which one it is, or if it's all of
Well,
them.
and I think somebody in the last episode said that Good Striker, or I think it was Goody. He said that he makes some collection pieces stronger, something like that. I don't know.
But yeah, okay, then I'm okay with that. Like the only thing that bothered me about it was once I noticed it, it was so glaring to me that it distracted me from other things. The suit actors that they got didn't match Lupin Red. One was shorter, and that was the one that stuck out to me. Was one was significantly shorter than Lupin Red, whereas another was, more muscular than Lupin Red. Which I get. It's suit actors, and they're not all going to be the same. My brain just says you could have tried harder. As for the Kogura and Goody thing, I'm really confused about all that. I have a theory that I know is absolutely 100% incorrect. I will actually be very amazed if it is accurate, but we will get to that later.
Okay, so yeah, they form Pato Kaiser. His theme, the mech's theme starts playing in the background while they're combining, which is pretty good. The fight is fun. There's not nearly as much CG, but I still liked it a lot. Uh, and I kind of laughed my ass off when Pato Kaiser hid behind, like took cover behind the statue that Namito made earlier in the episode. That was just a hilarious callback. But Namito is finished with Pato Kaiser Bullet Strike, or Gangan Strike. And another thing I liked about it was the PatoRangers kind of redeemed themselves because they actually knew how to initiate the Gatai sequence. Like Goody didn't have to tell them to pull on the handlebars. That was kind of cool.
Or we skipped that part.
I don't think so. I think they pretty much knew what to do. But anyways, thoughts.
Yeah, the Gatai sequence is alright, I guess. I like the finisher though, and I appreciate that the Pat Rangers know what karma is because they used it against him with that statue. I was cracking up when that happened. But yeah, I mean, again, I still have my biases, but what Pat Kaiser is, I like it. It works.
Hold on a second. Sorry, had a weird yawn. So, with the coming together sequence, I have a slight problem that when their mechs come together, the face plays like still slides in like it does on Looping Kaiser. The problem is that Red's mech was in the way, so you didn't have that moment where the monster could see them inside. And I feel like that's going to be what we get going forward. Like, yeah, we got to see it once, and now they're done, and that's kind of disappointing. Other than that, parts of this fight kind of reminded me of DecoRanger, hiding behind things with the gun drawn kind of thing. I do love that they hide behind his own statue too, and that the Gangler, ends up being the one to destroy it. And then cut to the mob boss just in silence. Vashi?
Oh, sorry. In terms of like the mech fight, I enjoyed the nod to DecoRanger with the whole it obviously being cops in terms of the fighting style and hiding behind buildings and stuff like that, and being tactical. I'm not too sure whether or not they're going to continue this particular mech combination in terms of like the faceplate, like Rye was talking about. or if it's only going to be visible with the Lupin Rangers because of the way the Lupin Rangers come together. It's a possibility they may keep the Lupin Rangers visible, which I really kind of hope so.
It's so
Other than that,
good.
it is very, very unique in terms of how it goes. But yeah, all in all, is like I enjoyed the fight for what it was.
We also didn't get the same CGI death that we got last episode, but I can understand why they wouldn't keep that up. That's expensive.
The explosion was pretty nice, though. It was like a two-part kind of thing. I liked it. But anyways, yeah. So after their finisher, Goody appears in puppet form, but he has a police hat on, and he thanks the PatoRangers for the fun battle, but immediately disengages the vehicles and flies off. At the cafe, Kogure mentions how uncontrollable Goody is. He could be the reason the police have some pieces. I don't know, blaming it on Goody is a bit of a stretch. He was
Oh.
like locked up in a briefcase, so
And he left the police for the thieves.
yeah, that Kogure. But yeah, right after he says that, the police arrive at the cafe. Keiichiro apologizes for not ordering yesterday, and of course, Kogure disappears without a trace. Sakuya calls out to Umika, kinda seriously, but he starts flirting with her. Keiichiro scolds Sakuya, but accidentally pushes Umika, and Tsukasa scolds both of them. Toma jokes about putting laxatives in their food so he can steal the VS changers and freaks Kairi out. So, yeah, pretty good humor, I have to say. Thoughts?
Like I said earlier, oh, the shenanigans of them just trying not to kill them so they can be set and done with them, and the Cat Rangers keep fucking things up with them. I can just see the fun that's gonna come with, and that is something I'd happily look forward to. Yeah, but Kogure, like I said earlier, there cannot be something that's not happening because he's stirring doubt in like the thieves because he's blaming Goody for stuff that, like you guys said, seems pretty improbable. He's always shifting out. And the one thing I can give the cops credit for is their mentor cares about them. Like he did Sakuya. He actually gives a damn about their well-being. Kogure doesn't seem to care farther than their goal, which is getting the collection back to their owner, and he doesn't seem to care about them beyond whether or not they're functional. That's why I just cannot get behind him until I can get something beyond him being his master's butler and shit, and he's getting the collection for him. I need something on the guy. Just give me something that isn't like, oh, he's working with the cops or shit. No. He's planning something. Tell me what he's planning.
Yeah, I don't believe him one bit when he tries putting it off on Goody that the police have collection pieces. Like, the first thing Goody did was ditch the police to go with the thieves for their mech fight. And then he didn't want to help out the police with their mech fight at first. I mean, he's probably going to be more willing now that he's like, you guys have some good fights too. But he didn't stay with them afterwards. It seems very much like he's going to favor the thieves, so long as Kogure isn't around. Really, like, it has something to do with Hilltop that they have the pieces. but we don't know much about his character. Koguri clearly knows more than he lets on, uh, and I think there's more to Goody than we're being led to know right now. Oh, right, Vashi's mic isn't working again, so we just kind of have to wrap up without him, unfortunately. Vashi, if you want to, well, I don't know if you can even hear me. Go move on to final thoughts, Decade.
Yeah, final thoughts. I really like this episode. Pato Kaiser's theme is great. I'm not sure who the singer is, but it might be the guy who did the Kyorager opening. Not sure, but I loved it. Love the helmet. It's pretty badass. And yeah, the Pato Rangers really need the spotlight, and it looks like they're gonna get some next episode, so that'll be good.
Like I said, I need a little bit more on the cops, which thankfully we are getting, and I'm very glad for that. But for what this episode was, it was fun. Like, we tried to give a little bit to the cops, which thankfully Pat Kaiser made up for it, which I loved. We got a little bit more Homa. We have some setup. We have some fun to come. I enjoyed this, and I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this series so far. I'm actually going to recommend it to a friend of mine that isn't really into Sentai, but I'm going to offer him this one, see if he likes it. Ultimately, I'm really hoping we start to see a bit more about the Ganglar generals. Gotch, she can remain mysterious for a little longer. I don't care. But the other guy, Destra, so far all he's been is argumentative with everyone that hasn't been the boss. Whose name I can't remember. Hold on, I have it written down. Dogranio. Dogranio. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to more Lupin versus Pat. And it does seem like next episode might be more of a Pat Ranger focused one based on the preview, but I also thought the same thing about this one. With that being said, I think that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more Kamen Rider Build. Things are getting really intense
Wait,
in that
wait.
season.
We still have Vashi's final thoughts.
Oh, right. Vashi says that all in all, he's enjoying the series. This episode is great and a good start to understanding the characters. He can't wait for more of the Pat Rangers and the explanation of Goody and Koguri, and more Hilltop. Yeah, more Hilltop. Definitely. What if Hilltop becomes like the next Deca Master?
Fuck! Yes!
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody, tonight. Tomorrow, Kamen Rider Build. Next Tuesday, more LupinRanger versus PatoRanger. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Adieu, and later, taters.
If we're still alive right now, don't worry, Vashi just is having a little trouble. If we're still like live right now, this is kind of awkward because the podcast ended a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, well, we've had worse. Hey, this could be Heisei Generations all over again.
Yeah, we just lose the entire thing because the audio was unlistenable for some reason. I have no
Except
idea what happened with that.